Every show we gotta do the scoop. There it is.
Oh man!
Everybody, worldwide, across the universe, even Pluto is involved. Welcome to the NY to MD podcast. Your host, Kevin Hurts, and the one and only Brian Sherrod. What's going on, homie?
What's going on, man?
Hey, guess what? It's snowing.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Oh, it just started. Okay.
Oops, there it is. Yeah. There goes the snow. The 12 inches we're supposed to be getting this starting now, I guess.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, man.
Well, at least it won't be any snow days for school. So,
yeah.
Not have to worry about that. But welcome, everybody, to YMD Podcast. We're here Sunday morning. Thank you for tuning in. We're on YouTube Live under NYMD Podcast. Of course, you can find us on social media, Twitter, IG, Facebook, NYMD Podcast. Also, you can download us on any podcast format, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you find podcasts, you will find the NYMD Podcast.
Yes, sir.
So, brother, it's been an eventful week for us. Just glad we're here now.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're here now. We have a Super Bowl coming up, which we'll talk about next week. We're gonna break it down like molecule to molecule next week. We're gonna have the Brady's and the Mahomeses, but we have to review the games that occurred for them to get to the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about the AFC Championship game first, and we'll talk about the NFC Championship game.
Right.
So we have a myriad of topics today. Starting off with, of course, football. We got one of your favorite all-time athletes, Tiger Woods, and also one of your all-time favorite shows. And we're going to be breaking down WandaVision, baby.
Yeah.
The guy who stays up till 2:01 to watch it, like Friday morning. We'll be talking about WandaVision, and we'll be putting up, when we start talking about it, we'll be putting up our spoiler alert. Just so guys, you know, that's when the WandaVision part comes up. And actually, I'll be talking about Wanda coming up during the NFC Championship game. So we're going to be a little bit of a tie in there. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's start off with AFC Championship game. Of course, we have Buffalo on the road playing KC. Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts of the game.
I picked Buffalo to win this game, but I'm not surprised. I mean, come on. It's what's his name? Patrick Mahomes. Yep. And I guess the biggest thing we just wanted to see is Patrick Mahomes healthy? Is he going to be okay? I mean, as long as that guy was healthy, I mean, the Chiefs are going to win that game. I was hoping maybe Buffalo could hang with them offensively, but as they have shown in the playoffs, they couldn't do anything on offense. I mean, they did start off with a 9-0 lead, but you know, hey. Leads are like nothing to
they don't cur.
Yeah. Lead, like if you get a lead on Kansas City, that's like super motivation for them. You know what I mean?
I know. Matter of fact, it's better if you play from behind with them.
Yeah,
like, don't get too far ahead.
Exactly. Because if you get a lead, it's like, okay, now it's time to stomp on your throat. And that's exactly what happened. Mahomes looked great. I mean, Kelsey was unstoppable. And the KC defense played well, man. I mean, they for the second week in a row, that Buffalo offense got shut down. So we're going to see Kansas City, not surprised, their third straight AFC championship, their second straight Super Bowl appearance. And as long as Patrick Mahomes is healthy, I mean, this team is going to be a team to reckon with for years to come.
Yep. As long as Andy Reid's there, Mahomes is there, and it seems like at this point Eric Bieniemy's there.
Yeah.
They're gonna have the Kelsey. As long as they stay healthy, that team's gonna be where they are now.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna be years. Because like I said, it was they did start off from behind in this. Buffalo struggled a little bit offensively, like you said in this game, but you know, facing KC, they had that championship pedigree now. So even if they're down, they know when to come back, and they still do it all season. This team has struggled a little bit offensively in some games, when they struggle against the Chargers and just throughout the season. But when it comes to playoff time, it's prime time. It's Chief time, and all the big players came through. Kelsey, Tyreek, Mahomes. Man, that's you keep Mahomes upright. Make sure his toes good. I know he had to wear a bigger shoe to put a little cushion on that toe injury that he had. And he was Mahomes. He was Mahomes. So good for them. I picked Kansas City to win this game. They're just a better team. Buffalo's good. I mean, Buffalo's good. They haven't. I think they have the confidence now, and they're looking at this division, saying we can win this division, especially if New England is going to be struggling if they don't get a quarterback anytime soon. And they had to just deal with Miami, and of course, depends on what the Jets do, but. They're looking at like let's just keep building. Every year they've gone a step further. So if the Bills just keep it up, they could get to that point. So they maybe eventually be in the Super Bowl. They have a young dynamic quarterback who's getting better every season. And Josh Allen is good. And who knows? We'll probably see that matchup frequently. In the AFC. But again, the AFC has a plethora of good teams.
Yeah, man.
There's the Pittsburghs. There's the Baltimores. I mean, this thing about, in all honesty, you could take Allen's picture out, put in, Lamar's. I just think the consistent in that picture is going to be Patrick. It's going to be where Josh is. Could be another quarterback. Could be Tua's. It could be Lamar's. It could be, Ben's old now. He may take a pay cut, but it could be Ben. So, it could be any of those guys. But I think the consistent guys is the one up there flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that is the Patrick Mahomes.
So, yeah. Oh, boy. Now we have a game. Oh, boy. I don't know if we should talk about this one because you were a little upset at this one, Hurt. And
I wasn't a little. Now, due to, unforeseen and unmitigated circumstances, I wasn't really able to check out both games. Last game, the Chiefs game, I wasn't able to due to like family obligations. First game was superstition.
Okay.
So, the first game was, of course, the Green Bay playing at home. First time Aaron Rodgers was at home. In an NFC Championship game, and they're playing Thanos Brady, and the Buccaneers. And so I've calmed down. As we all know, the Buccaneers ended up winning that game, even though they shouldn't have. But again, it is what it is at this point, and I just need I think I still need to calm down. So you go ahead and talk about your thoughts on the game, and I'll chime in when I'm able to.
I thought it was a good game. I thought the Packers actually. I thought this was the Packers' game to win. I think they could have won this game. I think they had their chances to win this game, but at the end of the day, the game was decided on two plays, both at the end of the half. First of all, Scotty Miller, the fastest receiver in the NFL, for somehow with 6 seconds left
in the half,
in the half, gets wide open for a touchdown at the end of the half, and that fooled me because I thought Brady was going to try to get maybe 5 yards, do a quick out to the sidelines to get in better field goal range, but nope. Touchdown. And then in the fourth quarter, with the Bucs down by 8, right? I believe they were down by 8. They're on their own 8-yard line. Fourth and goal, which is really 4th and 8. They decided to kick a field goal with a little over 2 minutes left. What the heck was Matt LaFleur thinking? Dude, you're that close. You don't kick a field goal there. You get 3 points, but you still need a touchdown. You still need to make a stop and get a touchdown. Get a touchdown right there. If you go for it on fourth down, if you don't make it, you can still try to flip the field. You know what I mean? You okay? You okay over there, man?
It's 4th and 8. Now, I know watching some of the highlights, everybody said maybe on third down, Aaron could have ran in. Aaron, I'm going to leave that judgment in Aaron's judgment because I trust his judgment because he's Aaron Rodgers. In the past, we've seen him run. He's obviously a mobile quarterback. If he could make it in the end zone, the dude would run into the end zone. But he was thinking also, I got 4 downs here because, I don't know, there's not a lot of time left. We're going to go for it, get a touchdown. You still need a 2-point conversion. Kicking the field goal at that point, asinine. Utterly asinine. Because you need the ball back again anyway. Why not go for the tie? Say you don't get it. All right, so the Buccaneers are deep in their own end zone area, deep in their own territory. You have to make a stop no matter what you do. You have to make a stop somewhere. Even if you scored and got 2 and it's a tie game, your defense still has to come up because there would have been about 2 minutes left, right? So your defense has to come up big. But let them come up big in a tie game. Then a game where all the other team has to do is run the freaking clock out. And then that pass interference call, which at first I was losing it, because Aaron's only interception was because the defensive back for Tampa Bay held on. You saw the guy's freaking pad, but he got his hands off, got in front of the pass, and intercepted it. They didn't call it. Fine, that happens. I wasn't too upset when they called the pass interference on that third down play. I was livid until I saw the fact the dude was holding on to him for dear life. Like, you have to let go. Like, the Bucs uniforms were playing in their pewter or something, right? I think
they were playing in white jerseys.
Okay, so they're playing in white jerseys. So their white jerseys only go so far. When you're trailing behind somebody and that white jersey stretched another 2 yards, that's called holding, man. Let go. Yeah. I was like, well, hell, they had to call that. They had to call it. They had to call it. And at that moment, I wanted to do one of the things we're going to talk about later on and do a little Wanda rewind, as I call it, and just go back and start that sequence over again.
Wait a minute. Rodgers said that if he knew they would kick a field goal, he would have changed the previous plays.
Yeah, he didn't know because he's not the coach. And in fact, he's older than the coach. I mean,
I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is,
but that makes sense. Because you think you're going for it.
Yeah.
You thinking that you're going for it's a 4-down thing. Now, that could be communication between the head coach and the quarterback, which could be iffy from last year to this year. I don't know. But this is the opportunity at home with some fans to take your team to the Super Bowl. And you kick a field goal to be down by 5, having your defense, which is suspect, to try to get the other team to punt the ball to you.
So basically, here's what he said. I'm kicking a field goal and I'm going to give the ball over to Tom Brady with 2 minutes left in the game.
No, that's not what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
No. This is what he said. I'm going to kick the field goal because I don't trust my number 12. That's what he said. That's how I took it. I don't trust my number 12, but I think we can stop that other number 12. So basically, he thought either number 12 was going to not come through. Honestly,
at the end of the day, that number 12 is still Tom Brady, and at the end of the day, your number 12 is still Aaron Rodgers, dude.
4th down, 8 yards to go. You go at that point too. They're scrambling. Who knows what play? He probably would have tried to do a John Elway into the end zone at that point because you have to. But I mean, you like you said, he's sitting there thinking, or even like our listener here, Mr. Daggy, who may have a new quarterback in a couple of days. Who knows? But you have to give it to Aaron Rodgers to throw the touchdown. If you don't get it, then you still rely on your defense. If you get it, you get to 2 points, you got a tie game. It's a whole different feeling. Momentum has changed. And again, I know there's things in the game that happened, like you said, the thing that happened at halftime. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions. They only got 6 points off of that.
Right.
So all that's there in the whole point of the game. But in a big momentum change, they were down 28-10 at halftime?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because of that last play. So their defense, they weren't doing anything. But in the second half, they barely scored. The Bucs. I think they only scored like 3 points. But you got to give it to Aaron Rodgers. You have to make sure he has 4 downs to get it done. Period. You go for it. It's the Super Bowl that you're playing for. So it wasn't a regular season game. It's just whatever.
Yeah, that was a horrible decision. That was just a horrible decision. Man, did that catch me off guard, So
yeah, I was hurt for 2 days. I'm still mad. I'm still mad about it. It's a Super Bowl I don't want to watch, but I don't have a choice.
You don't want to watch this Super Bowl?
No. No, because that number 12 shouldn't be there. It should be green 12, not pewter or whatever other color they have.
But how crazy is it though? This guy is going to 10 Super Bowls. Like, as much as I hate Brady, man, I gotta give it up to him, man. I gotta give it up to him. I mean, 10.
I mean, he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that beats. I mean, I think the dude last time he ate sugar was like 1998 or something. I don't know. On his TB12 diet. He's the man. He came over to NFC, took this team who hasn't won anything in forever, and put him. He broke all types of records. He took a team whose stadium is hosting the Super Bowl and brought them there, and that's never happened before. So they're playing a home game as the road team in the Super Bowl, and he's facing Mahomes, who they played, last year and the year before. So last year, I think they got past the Patriots. The year before, they lost to the Patriots at home.
And they played earlier this year, too.
Oh, yeah. It was a week, not 6, but it was, another. Yeah. So, I mean, it's the future against the, not saying a past, but against Thanos, and Thor here, or whatever you want to call Mahomes. He's not Captain America, that's Aaron Rodgers. But maybe he's Iron Man. I don't know.
You think Aaron Rodgers is Captain America? I think I see Aaron Rodgers more as Iron Man.
He does look more like Iron Man.
And just like his personality too.
Yeah, it's definitely more Iron Man.
Yeah,
I was thinking because
Tom Brady is Captain America, yo.
No, he's the villain. Okay, let's get that straight. He's Thanos. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not,
yeah.
Yeah, the dude has the glove. He's snapping fingers. We're all disappearing. All records. The dude's been in the league, 19 years, 10 Super Bowls. He's gone to more Super Bowls than franchises have gone to Super Bowls.
I heard a stat. Tom Brady has gone to 18% of all Super Bowls. 18%.
18 by himself.
That's crazy. And this is the first time in my life I'll be rooting for Tom Brady.
Yes, and this will be actually, this will be the first time ever for me that I don't care. And which probably that isn't true, but
I was about to say that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. But I know we're gonna break this down next week, but it's tough for me. It's tough. Like I said, I wouldn't mind. It's Tom might as well just go win it and just get it over with, right? Just submit his, goat ship.
Yeah.
And call it a day. Get Super Bowl number 7 and then go make fitness tapes. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
all right, man.
Speaking of quarterbacks.
Well, wait. Before we talk about quarterbacks, something good happened this week in coaching, Hurt.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm talking to quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a quarterback who has a new head coach who requested a trade.
Oh,
But that new head coach was the first black head coach hired this season. And you know a little bit something about him. So let everybody know.
actually, I don't.
You don't? Did he work for the Ravens?
Yeah, David Culley, he is Houston's new coach. But guess what? I don't know anything about this dude.
I know he's 65.
That I did not know he was that old. I didn't realize he was that old. But yeah, basically he was our wide receivers coach. John Harbaugh praised him. I mean, he's been on the team for like 2 years now, and John Harbaugh always spoke highly of him. Always spoke highly of him. He was a wide receiver / assistant head coach. I was kind of shocked when I heard he was getting the interview, and I was even more shocked when Houston hired him. But selfishly, well, hey, first of all, I'm glad to see another minority head coach.
Yes.
I was hoping it will be Eric Bieniemy.
I told you though. What did I tell you?
Yeah, you just said.
I knew he wasn't going to be hired this season.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see another minority head coach was hired. I'm even more glad that it's David Culley because thanks to the new Rooney rules, Ravens get 2 third-round picks. Yeah, so I'm happy about that.
So the Ravens get the picks?
Yeah, so remember what they've done now is they incentivize hiring minority coaches. And the way they've done it is if you like cultivate a minority coach that gets hired, then the team that the coach got hired from gets 2 third-round draft picks.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just implemented this year. That was one of the because remember when they were talking about saying, hey, if you hire a coach, you get draft picks? And they said, remember they were talking about that? Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah, no, but they said no, what we're going to do is we want teams to actually cultivate and what's the word I'm looking for? Develop head coaches, minority head coaches. So the teams that help develop these people to get hired actually get credit and get incentives with draft picks. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so I was shocked he was hired, man. Like I said, I thought it was going to be Eric Bieniemy, and but I know Patrick Mahomes is weird. Like Patrick Mahomes is happy that Bieniemy's staying, but he can't understand for the life of him how this dude isn't hired. And he even said, I heard him in an interview this week, how he talks about like he does like all the installs. Like he says, yeah, Andy Reid calls the plays, but Eric Bieniemy does all the installations for the offense that week. It's his offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's his offensive game plan. So he says the guy's a great coach, and he doesn't understand how this dude hasn't been hired. But we'll see what happens, man. But like I'll say, like you said, I mean, it's only bad news for the rest of the AFC in football because I mean, you keeping this coaching staff together, man, and this team is dangerous.
Well, this guy Culley, who you still have pictured up there, he actually was with Andy Reid for a number of years too.
Yeah.
So he's part of that Andy Reid, I'm saying tree, but he coached with him for a long time.
Yeah.
So Houston's, hopefully getting a good head coach, but they're probably losing a really, really good quarterback because even after Culley was hired, Watson said, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go. And, I mean, like, the fact that, like I said, people who don't even talk, Andre Johnson, a dude who tweets less than he verbalizes words, was like, yeah, you need to get out of there. There's not too many. They don't have any first-round picks or nothing really this year.
No, because they gave him to Miami,
which I know Dan's happy about.
Yeah,
and they didn't get a lot back for the Hopkins trade.
No.
So, and I think I saw a stat somewhere where at the end of the season, Watson finished with 70% completion percentage, and he was like one of only 4 quarterbacks, 5 that finished. The other 4 won a Super Bowl. This dude had 4 wins. I think they went back to the last 10 years or so, and out of defensive, and ESPN looked up defensive efficiency. I think out of 480 teams, putting all the seasons together and each team in each season, blah, 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 that the Houston ranked 478 in that this season, which is why J.J. Watt apologized to the dude at the end of the season. They have fleeced the team and robbed this guy.
Yeah.
And he just signed a contract. He obviously loved it there. You sign a contract, you crying at the press conference, like you're like, this is gonna be my home. But that was, before they got rid of Hopkins. It's almost like you signing a new contract at work, and they take your right-hand man and move him on to a different company. After you sign it, you're like, wait, what happened? To get rid of the guy, which he needed to go, the boss who traded him in the first place. They put a bunch of hot garbage for you to sit there and deal with, and you still perform at the top of your level. And at the end of the year, you're looking like our performance went down. That's what happened to this guy. It's insane to me that this team who wasn't that far. Think about, speaking of all those pictures, I forgot to even mention this man's name with the Lamars and the Josh Allens and the Mahomes. That man that you have pictured down there, his picture should be up there as well. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Okay, all right. Now we got to talk about this because this is utter nonsense. Okay, this is okay. So Dan is now the second person I talked to. That is commented they don't want Deshaun Watson. Are you guys insane? Are you really? Because I talked to Rudy the same thing. Oh no, I want to see what Tua has. No, you guys have the cap space. You guys have the draft capital. If you have a guy that wants to come there, Deshaun Watson, dude, you take that chance. Yes, you have draft picks. Y'all have like 12 to 14 picks in this year's draft. You have 2 number ones. If Houston comes to you and say, give me Tua, you won this year, you won next year, and you won the year after that, done. Done. That should not even be a question. No question. You guys have multiple picks in the second round, multiple picks in the third round. If you have a chance to get Deshaun Watson, I'm sorry. No question. No. He would be such an upgrade to that team. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. No. You absolutely, if you have a chance to get Deshaun Watson, you absolutely go for that guy. He is a franchise changing QB. You don't know what you have in Tua. But if he came with the right compensation, I would be cool with it. What do you mean? I don't understand. If he came with the right compensation, what's the right compensation?
I guess what they would give away.
Like I said, 2 and 3 ones.
No, we're getting there, Jay.
Oh.
Wait, Jay, we're getting there.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Press record. Jay, when we get there.
Just sit tight, buddy.
Yeah, just woo.
No, but Deshaun Watson is a top 5
franchise quarterback.
And think about this. Think about what the Dolphins have done in 2 years, right? They built up a strong defense. Yeah, they still need some weapons on offense, but because they have so many draft picks, you still have the draft capital to keep building your team. Yeah, you have to give away your first round pick, or maybe 2, maybe even 3, but it's worth it. You guys have 2 2s this year. So, you guys have 2 1s this year. Hold on to one of them, trade one of them, and trade next year's number 1s. It's worth it. You have a franchise-altering quarterback. You have a strong defensive foundation. You have a couple weapons on offense. This guy would look. You guys will no longer be you guys will be legitimate contenders in the AFC if you were to get Deshaun Watson.
Right away.
Yeah, you take that chance. And the only reason why I say that is because they have they have such good draft capital. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're giving away your number ones, but you still have multiple. I mean, 2 2s, 2 3. You know what I mean? Like you still have draft picks. It's not like you're trading your number ones and you only have like five draft picks left for this year.
But the thing is, you have a smart GM.
Yeah.
You have a really good head coach. That GM's not Bill O'Brien. Okay? You're not sitting there trading the team and the stadium for Deshaun.
Right.
You're trading what you have, including a quarterback, to them so they can rebuild. You're getting not only are you getting Deshaun Watson, but what you're also getting is him not going to the Jets.
Exactly.
That's what you're getting. Because you may want to sit there and say, I don't want to give up a lot. But if you want to see him twice a year playing for another team in your division, I don't think that's a good idea either.
Yeah. And I just want to say this too. When it comes to draft picks and draft capital, when you're a team, you want to accumulate draft picks not only for the draft, right? Not only to draft players in the draft, but you also want to accumulate draft picks to make trades for players. So you guys have, like I said, a ton of picks. Get this guy. If I'm the Dolphins, if I were a Dolphins fan, man, I'd be on the phone with who's the GM? Ray Farmer? I forget who the GM is there now. I'd be on the phone. I'd be praying that this guy go after Deshaun. I mean, think about this. How often, right? How often does there's a QB in his primes only played 4 years? This guy's what, 25, 26 years old? An elite QB become available for trade. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So you got to take your shot. And when you have the cap space and the draft capital to do it, you take your shot. You take your shot and you go for it, man. You swing for the fences and hopefully you hit a home run.
This is their 4th and 8. Don't kick a field goal. Go for it.
Yeah. Go
for it. He's young. You have him under contract. What is he, 25?
Dude, you have him under contract for the next 5 years.
It's Deshaun Watson. You want to talk about those tailgates going to be off the chain,
dude?
Okay, let him go to Miami. If he goes to the Jets, it's over. It's over. It's over. He needs to, as I said, maybe Carolina. I don't know what Carolina has to get him, but dude, I'm telling you, he needs to go. Dolphins. Heck, if I'm Washington, what are we? I'm not giving away Chase. Not giving away Chase.
If they can get a wide receiver in free agency, then I'm okay with the trade the 3rd round pick, a 2nd round to it. No, that's not going to get it done, Dan. You got to trade. You got to at least look.
Dan's not the GM. That's just
Dan. It's going to take. I know.
No, I'm keeping. No. I'm keeping that up there. Let's keep that up there.
Okay. All right, Dan. The reality is it's going to take 3 first-round picks. Okay. Now you can either do this one of 2 ways. You can either trade both of your first rounders this year and one next year. I wouldn't do that though.
No,
do that. I would do one. I mean, if I had to do away with the 3, okay, I would try to hold on to that 3 though. But I would do the first round this year, next year, and the year after that. It's going to take 3 first-round picks, but the dude is worth it, dude. This is Deshaun Watson. You're getting Deshaun Watson.
I think people are missing the fact that they're getting Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, but it's going to take 3 first-rounders plus.
Yeah, like I said, if I was Washington, I'm calling. I can't give up Chase though, because that's what makes the team special is the defense.
No, I'm not. No, I ain't giving up Chase.
Yes, but if you need anything else, listen, we'll move back to DC. I don't care. If the deal is 3 first-round picks, some other compensation, Tyler Heineke, whatever, RG3's old contract, I don't care. Whatever you need, and move back to DC. And matter of fact, we'll name our team the Washington Football Deshaun's. I will do that, or Watson's football team, whatever. I change that for his name, and that makes a huge difference. Huge.
And Dan, think about it. There's a lot of free agents. There are wide receivers and free agency you can pick up too if you wanted to go that route.
It's a good wide receiver draft anyway, too.
Yeah. See, in a perfect world, the Dolphins would trade their what's their second pick? What's their first round pick? 18? I would trade that pick to the first round next year and the year after. With their third pick, I would draft Devonta Smith. That way you have Deshaun and Devonta for years to come. Throw in Tua and maybe throw in another 3 or something like that. The thing is, you're going to have to come strong. You're going to have to come strong because they're going to be, I would think maybe 5, if not more teams coming after him, and they're going to pay. They're going to pay. But you mean to tell me, Dan, if you were to get Devonta Smith and Deshaun Watson, right, and trade Tua and 3 1s, you wouldn't take that? Come on, man. And maybe 2 or 3 1s and maybe another 2 or 3 or something.
Come on, son.
You wouldn't take that? Dude, I would absolutely take that. Devonta and Deshaun, son, come on, man. The Dolphins got to go for it. If I were a Dolphins fan, I would be hoping that the Dolphins go for this. Okay, there we go. All right. You agree with me. Okay. All right.
I don't know who's typing for you, though, but that's fine.
Now, Dan, the reason why I'm saying you're going to have to come strong for Deshaun like that is because somebody came strong for Matt Stafford. And maybe I have it all wrong. Maybe I just have it all wrong because my man last night got traded to the Rams.
Your man, Matthew, I wish I knew his middle name, Stafford, not his whole government, went to, you sent this to me, your favorite QB of all time, this man right here, University of Georgia's own, State of Texas's own, Matthew Stafford, was traded from Detroit over to the L.A. Rams so he could take that team far into the playoffs and maybe even a Super Bowl. Yes. Let me know, Mr. Anti-Stafford, your feeling on the trade, the Detroit getting Goff, and a bunch of other things as well.
I think, honestly, this is a great move for Detroit. I think it's a good move for the Rams. I think this is a trade that will benefit both that will benefit Stafford, benefit the Rams, and benefit Detroit. What I did not expect was this man pulling 2 first-round draft picks. I didn't think he would get traded for 1 draft pick, let alone 2. So this tells me that the competition to get this guy, there were a lot of people coming after Stafford. Or put it this way, there had to be some competition. Either that or they just wanted to get rid of that Jared Goff contract so badly that they say, you know what, we'll give up 2 first rounders. I guess maybe that's what it is. Maybe the only way they could get rid of that contract was to give up 2 first round draft picks. That's actually, now I think about it, that's probably what it was. The cost to get rid of that contract. Think about this. They hated Jared Goff so badly. They traded him away for 2 first round draft picks. Now, granted, you're getting Matt Stafford. Who's going to be good? I mean, look, I shouldn't say I hate. Well, I strongly dislike Stafford. I strongly dislike him, but the reason it's really not so much him. It's just the fact that I feel like he gets a pass. I feel like people make excuses for him.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Okay, let me go back to 2019. I read an article about the 5 most transcendent quarterbacks in the NFL, and Matt Stafford was on the list, and they left off Lamar Jackson. Huh? Transcendent? Really?
Well, I mean, it's like Kyler Murray, because he's one of one.
Oh, God.
So Matthew Stafford obviously is one of one.
You feel like he is overrated, Jay?
I think it's a Sherrard family trait.
Yes. Stafford, look, he gets. I hear people are a possible Hall of Famer. Oh, he has 45,000 yards. They're a bunch of empty numbers. And I don't want to hit. And they talk about, oh, he has 25 come from behind wins. You know why? Because his team's losing all the time.
Well, is that his fault?
Yes, he's supposed to be this great court. Yes, it's his fault. He's supposed to be this great court transcendent.
He's not the only person.
You mean to tell me his 12 years in freaking Detroit, he couldn't even win one playoff game? Only go to the playoffs, what, 2-3 times? When you
let
on that team?
Let me ask you this. They've had, besides him, the other best player they had was Megatron, right?
Megatron, yes.
Now, having a stud wide receiver, and at that point, they've never really had a running game. So you got Megatron, who's Megatron. He's Megatron. You got Matt Stafford. What else have you had?
Yes, he's had. You're exactly right, Jaden. He's had weapons. He's had plenty of weapons. Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, Megatron, Galladay. This guy's had weapons. Stop making excuses for this guy. Now, I will say he has not had a running game. I don't know. It's like Detroit.
Has he had a defense?
Detroit is two running backs like the Ravens are the wide receivers. I don't know. Yes. They have the worst luck drafting running backs.
Dude, it's like in fantasy football. You don't know who the next running back is for Detroit. It's like, wait, who's the starter this week?
Yeah.
And they just throw. It's almost like the Bermuda Triangle of running backs.
Yeah, it's weird. And they even say, you know what? We're going to draft somebody from your school. We're going to draft someone from your school, Matt. And this guy was great at Georgia. Swift.
Yeah.
Detroit,
and he falls off the face of the earth. Yeah. That's what happens in Detroit, though.
Would you stop making excuses now?
Okay. Just some things are positional. Some things are organizational. Right?
That is true, Hurt. But why is this guy so bad against teams with winning records?
Because his team's terrible. I know that, like you said, I'm not disagreeing on how you feel. I just don't know if I feel as strongly as you do. They had one player, but that was Sue. They still give up a lot of points. I know they still got to play, to me, my favorite quarterback twice a year. They still should beat the Bears, but the Bears had at least a good defense for most time. They play the Vikings. It is a tough division. Matthew Stafford has been okay. Like, Matthew Stafford, to me, is the alternate version of Kirk Cousins. That's just how I feel. He's a better
version of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. That was like I say, that's an alternate version. But I've seen Kirk come back against good teams and actually win playoff games. So, which Stafford hasn't done. But, the thing is, Kirk has had, Stephon Diggs, and he's had, 2 or 3 good wide receivers on that team, and a good defense at some point as well. I feel like this trade was the compensation they got. Like I said, I know they wanted to get rid of Goff. Think about it. Goff wasn't healthy, but he was listed as the second quarterback in that game, but he was healthy enough to play. If Aaron Rodgers got a bum thumb, but he's listed as active, he's starting that game. If any other quarterback, Lamar, him, any other starting quarterback is hurt, but he's listed as active, they're starting that game. And they didn't want him starting. Think about that. They didn't want to put him in that game till the other dude got knocked out.
Yeah. Well, I agree with what Dan just said. I totally agree with you. You said he could do well in LA with talent and coaching there. I think the biggest thing is the coaching and the defense. Yeah, he's going to do well. I think he has an opportunity to go.
This is the best team he's ever going to be on.
Yeah, and he's playing in the dome once again. He has a great coach. He's going to fit right into the system there. He's going to do fine. He's going to do well.
It's a tough division, though. It is a tough division.
Yeah. So. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but he had a team that went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Again, I'm not discounting who he is or whatever. But I never thought of Matthew Stafford as a transcendent quarterback like the guy we were talking about previously. I always thought of Matthew Stafford as a really good quarterback. But And there's also Detroit's never gone past their ceiling is lower than most teams. That again, this is a team, an organization who's been around since the 30s or something. They've never been to a Super Bowl. They've won NFL championships, which don't count because only Green Bay counts them. But they've never been to a Super Bowl. They've never gotten a certain, even when they had, think about it, they wasted Barry Sanders. They wasted Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
They wasted Megatron. They've wasted so many guys. They got rid of Caldwell. They've done so many stupid things there that he's been part of it. And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve your scorn. You know what I mean? But I think also it's just a systematic thing there as well.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Matt is a good fit. Matt Stafford's going to do well. You know how I know he's going to do well? Because if Jared Goff can take you to a Super Bowl, then Matt Stafford can show.
But this right here is all on him.
Exactly. So, and this is what we're going to see. Now, he can change the narrative for me.
Yep.
Will he be able when it gets to playoff time? Okay, because there's no excuses. They should make the playoffs. When it gets to playoff time, can he step up and play in big games? Yeah, we shall see. I'm not convinced. Matt Stafford does not scare me at all because I feel like good defenses will be able to take him out. I could be wrong because, like Dan said, he has coaching there, and Sean McVay is a great coach. And he may be able to out-scheme other coaches. So we'll see. But, it's a good move. I think the biggest thing, though, think about this. They got rid of that contract, and they got a better quarterback at half the cost.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But they had to pay. But they had to pay for it. They had to pay for it. So,
yeah. I mean, because it's like, I know it's a whole bunch of empty numbers. We'll see how he does in pressure situations. It's like Matthew Stafford's like the Mike Trout of the NFL, right?
No, stop it.
You know, I miss bringing in
on a level of Mike Trout.
I missed taking shots at Mike Trout last week, so I had to put him in this week. This is only, I have to have my. I
was about to say, you always got to take a dig at him whenever I take a dig at him.
I was like, you know what? I got to compare him to Mike Trout. It's been a couple of weeks. I got to put him in there.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know what the crazy thing is? Matthew Stafford will go to LA and still be bigger than Mike Trout. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man. And Jaden, I do agree. These last couple of off seasons have been crazy. It's about to get even crazier.
People trying to win now.
So Jaden, tell me this, and Kevin, who do y'all think? And I'll give you my prediction. And Dan, if you're still here, where is Deshaun Watson going to go? What's your prediction? Starting with you, Hurt. Where do you think he's going?
I think he's going to the Jets.
Okay.
I think he's going
to the 49ers.
Oh, okay.
Because
can you imagine that? Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine what will happen if Deshaun Watson gets into that system? It's almost like game over. And you know what?
No, that is game over.
And think about it.
If I'm Houston, he needs to go to the NFC so that you won't see him as often.
Exactly.
And San Francisco, I don't know about how much capital or draft capital they have, but they could always, I'm sure somebody would take Garoppolo back in New England.
Exactly. Think about this. If you're San Fran, right? I think they have their first round draft picks. You trade Garoppolo, the same deal I was telling Miami, right? You trade Garoppolo in 3 first rounders, 1, 2, 3 in the next 3 years. And maybe throw in, like I said, maybe throw in some player and like maybe a 3rd round. You don't think San Fran would do that? And you don't think
I honestly, I'm not a 49er fan.
But think about that team.
Yeah. That would be. I wouldn't want to. Honestly, I don't want to think about it. I'm not,
exactly. If we're saying this, you don't think Shanahan's trying to figure out a way to get Deshaun Watson?
I think the Jets, they have a better quarterback. I mean, again, Jets are a dysfunctional organization also, but I think Deshaun wants to go east, and not saying it's his. I know he has a no trade clause in his contract, So I don't know if he can dictate anything. Probably not. But I think the Jets would be stupid, like any other team that are able to do it. Would be stupid not to even try, to get the shot. You have, I think they have a high. Since they finished so badly, they have number 2 or 3, something like that. Draft pick. You put in Sam Darnold, put in whatever you need to put in, and put that dude in that New York market. You're printing money.
Yeah.
You're printing money, and then surround him with talent. Just him in that stadium in New York. It's boom, done. Where he was there, for Heisman Trophy presentation. That dude in that green, that would sell tickets. That'd sell tickets. But like you said, I think if they were smart, which they really haven't been to Houston, they would give them to the NFC. But I don't know. But I think I'm going to say the Jets.
Yeah. So Jaden, I disagree with you. I don't think he's staying. The reason why I don't think he's staying is he doesn't want to be there. He's made it now that he's made it open. He's come out and said that he don't want to. He wants to be traded. They're going to trade him because if he stays, he's just not going to play. And what's going to happen is there's going to be so much competition. There's going to be so many teams trying to get this guy that Houston's going to have is not going to have a choice but to trade for him because this guy's so good. They're going to get good offers.
Yeah,
they're going to be
great offers.
Right. They're going to get great offers from multiple teams. So he's not staying there. He's not staying there. All right, Hurt. Where to next, man?
So we got off one of your favorite topics, which of course is Matthew Stafford. And we're going to get on to one of your other favorite topics, which is your favorite golfer of all time, Tiger Woods. We're going to switch sports here because we've been on football for 50 minutes, I think.
Good gracious. Wow.
It's been a minute. So we're switching over to golf. HBO Max has a documentary called Tiger. I think it's just called Tiger.
Yeah.
It's just called Tiger. It's a 2-part. I did watch both. At first, only one part was out. So I was going to just watch part 1, but I watched both parts. And it chronicled him as a little kid.
Yeah.
To almost present day Tiger. And man, we want to talk about a roller coaster ride of just viewing some things I didn't know, some things I did know. And I know that you're a Tiger, everybody who follows golf, knows how great Tiger has been. And we were watching during his supposed heyday. What are your thoughts on the documentary and how do you feel about it?
I love the documentary. We've seen Tiger's whole career, his whole professional career. So we kind of knew most of that stuff. Like you said, I like learning about the stuff when he was younger.
Yeah.
Like I like the interviews with his first girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like when she was talking about like how he used to come over his house and how they used to make these home videos.
Yeah, we saw home videos of Tiger breaking it down. Dude.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But that was kind of cool. It just kind of see this guy, as a teenager.
A regular person.
Yeah. But the one thing that stood out for me was his dad and how his dad, he talked about Tiger like he was Jesus Christ, Joe. Literally, this dude talked about his son as if he were a deity. Like he said, he's going to be the greatest humanitarian the world's ever known. He's going to inspire people and change people. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, he was saying this dude when this dude was like a teenager.
Even before then. I knew he was going to be great when he picked up the club at 10 months. Remember, he was 10 months.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You were golfing in 10 months. I know he's going to be great.
Yeah. But
he wouldn't eat. He'd sit there in a stroller, watch his dad golf and eat in between golf swings.
Yo, that's crazy.
And all he did was eat, sleep, golf.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And he was on Bob Hope's show, golfing with Bob Hope. He's been in the spotlight literally since he was 2.
Yeah.
2 on up. It's crazy. And I think the thing I got most of it was I can't even imagine the amount of pressure when your parent puts on you that you're going to change the world. Just imagine you're going to be a good golfer, and I want you to try hard, son, and be the best you could be. No, you're seeing interviews where he's saying you're going to change the world, like you're Martin Luther King.
Yes,
Eldrick Woods.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That pressure, and the fact that he's done what he's did, a lot of people would have folded and he almost did. He almost did a couple times. But man, I don't know what too many people or anybody that has come up and been told you're going to change the world, not be the best at what you do. There's a whole different thing of you're going to be the best golfer ever, maybe. Okay, that's a lot, but I'm sure Richard Williams told that to Serena and Venus.
Yeah.
But he might not have said to them, you know what, you guys are going to be Mahatma Gandhi or Joan of Arc when you get older. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, that
was really just like, wow. It really took me aback at how he was describing his dreams of him.
Yeah. Of
uniting mankind, basically.
Yeah, that was a little much, and I didn't realize it was that deep. But the other thing that a couple things I want to mention. The one thing that the documentary, for lack of a better word, confirms is that Tiger really is a product or the result of I'm not wording it right. His dad, like his greatness and his demons, are pretty much the result from his dad. I think his dad was the biggest influence when it comes to both of those things. You know what I'm saying? But here's one thing I wish the documentary touched on, which they didn't touch on at all, was his body. As much as I love Tiger, there's still questions about, his body. They didn't talk about anything about the procedures that he had done as far as like the blood spinning and all that stuff. There's been questions, did Tiger, did he do any enhancers and enhancements to his body? The documentary does not delve on that at all. I thought it was going to do that in part 2, but it didn't. And I think those are viable questions. And the only reason why I say that is because his body is broken down. Now, granted, like you said, he's been golfing since he was freaking 2, and he has a violent swing. That is true. But I don't know. I think it could have delved on that a little bit more.
Well, do you think due to the fact that maybe they didn't have the evidence to bring that up? You know what I'm saying? Because they brought up the ACL. They had the doctor's reports. They brought up his back. They went to the back fusion. They were showing him, like I said, he was playing the U.S. Open when he, was playing Rocco Media. There, and like you said, they showed how his swing has gone through and the injuries, but they never, like you said, that wasn't even mentioned in there.
Yeah, they didn't mention it, but
because believe me, they broke down the National Enquirer thing really well.
Yeah, dude, I did not realize that. That was good. Dude, that's one thing I didn't know, how they had that story, how they had not the story of Rachel, you could tell, but the one from
before her.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that, but they sat on that, and they, even though they made it,
they appeared on Men's Fitness.
Yeah, to
keep them quiet.
Yeah, and I did not know that, but they were smart. They were like, nah, we know this dude's up to some, something.
Like if he did this once, he's gonna do it again. So we're gonna keep following this guy.
They kept following him, and that's how they got him, man. And they think about how they got him in Australia, man.
Oh, Australia, because they followed her. She's like, "Oh, come to Australia." Send her from wherever New York, I guess.
New York, yeah.
Australia. And they got on the same elevator as the National Enquirer person.
Oh my gosh, man!
It's.
But you're right. Maybe they didn't have enough evidence, and maybe they didn't want to make too many implications. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just thought they were going to. I think if you're doing a documentary on Tiger Woods where you're uncovering everything, I think that's one of the things you gotta talk about. But maybe, like you said, maybe at the end of the day, they just didn't have any evidence. But they didn't even mention the fact that he went to like Canada or Europe or whatever. with the blood spinning, they didn't even mention that. So I don't know.
And also when he was doing it, a lot of other regular athletes were doing it.
I know, but I just feel like they didn't even delve into it. Like you said, maybe for good reason, maybe because they had nothing on him, and maybe Tiger is, maybe he hasn't done anything. I just, you know me, dude. I'm a Tiger guy, but at the same time, I feel like if you're going to do a documentary on that, that's one of the things you got to kind of look into a little bit more. But hey,
I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, from the documentary, there's two people that I kind of blame for how he became who he was.
Okay.
His dad and Michael Jordan. I mean, of course, I gotta blame. Listen,
are you serious?
No, I'm not. Obviously.
No, dude. Okay, you threw me off. I'm like, Michael Jordan.
You know what? I should have acted serious because it seemed like you were going to go off. Ratings go up when you start going off. So I should have been like, yeah, of course. He's out there partying, hanging out with the bad habits man and Michael Jordan. Like, matter of fact, we got more scenes of Michael Jordan hanging out in the club than we did in The Last Dance. I mean, seriously. We didn't get any scenes of MJ at a club. We got him here hanging out with Tiger, and there's an age difference there.
Yeah.
Tiger's over here in the corner, some young kid, whatever. I was like, just tell him that you're Tiger Woods. Like, he shouldn't have hung around him or Charles.
Yeah. I thought that was a good line though. Yeah, what should I tell him?
Oh, just tell him what your name is. Yeah, that's a good.
Dude, that's all you need to tell him.
Yeah. But I mean, I was just like, I was sitting there when they were talking about, he was hanging out with Michael, and they came to Michael and Charles were at the wedding because they were like hanging out. But I know Tiger was so young. You know what I mean? And he was so young. But when I saw Michael in there, I was like, I'm just going to blame everything on Michael. I'm blaming that wouldn't happen with LeBron. That's all I'm saying.
I did not see that coming. That was pretty good.
I was like, because all the little, it's just, but it's so crazy because again, because I know Tiger got caught, so to speak, or whatever, and all that stuff happened to him, but Michael always gets a pass. I'm just saying, like, it's like, oh, okay, now Michael's there with him. Yeah. And he was like, he's doing the same things or teaching him really how to do these things. Get away with stuff. It's crazy, except Tiger took it to a different level. But also, if you look at, and I know Michael lost his father when he was playing, when he was a little bit younger. But you could tell just from the documentary, I mean, even The Last Dance, the way the fathers were different. Even though I know his dad wanted Michael to be the best, he never said he's going to change. There was no interviews of him saying this guy's going to be the Messiah of the world.
Right.
There's no one said that about him. LeBron's mom never said that. No one's ever said stuff like that. The immense pressure. This dude won, what, 3 NCAA championships or junior championships in a row? Coming up, winning the Masters. I mean, the thing is, he was living up to all that. And going and trying to cope with so many things. It's almost like he has split personalities. And the thing also that it's almost kind of made me sad was listening to Steve Williams when, how they were so close. Like, I remember when the part where he lost his dad.
That was sad.
Where he lost his dad in the first tournament and he won, and Steve's just holding him and he's just crying. And then, he comes back. Steve's like, hey, I'm going to caddy for a friend of mine. He said, supposedly, Tiger's like, okay, cool. Then Tiger decided to play. It was like, you caddy for him, you're gone. And he's like, and Steve's like, I thought I was going to lose my job. I didn't know I was going to lose our friendship. And they haven't spoken since then.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Because they said they were like, the dude was the best man at his wedding. So I was like, wow, that's just, that's tough. You know what I mean? So it's, again,
that was hard to hear. I was like, yeah. Man.
And I'm not saying I know the reasoning. I know it's more complicated than that. But I was like, oh man, dad. You know what I mean? It was like, dad. But yeah, so it was Michael Jordan's fault. What I gotta say.
All right.
You know I gotta blame stuff on Michael Jordan and Mike Trout.
All right. Well, let's
damn mics, man.
Yeah, whatever. All right, let's move on to talk about, I guess, our new favorite show.
Yeah, folks, we're going to talk about a show that comes on a streaming network, that comes on weekly, that someone isn't complaining about watching weekly. That's how good this show is. Okay, that's how good it is. So we're going to be talking about Disney's newest sensation since The Mandalorian. Yes, we are talking about WandaVision. Boom, cue the graphic.
Man, they have Marvel, Disney. They have hit it out of the park with this one, man. I loved it. I can't get enough of
it. Keep you awake, Daggy. My bad.
Yeah, this is how I feel. This picture is how I feel when I watch this show.
Is that right?
I mean, good. Oh my god.
WandaVision.
It's so inventive, so creative, so
yeah.
good.
So
yeah,
this will. If you haven't watched, we're going to talk about the first 4 episodes. If you haven't watched any of the show yet, or haven't seen the last one, spoiler alert. Come back to the again, we're on YouTube. You can watch us live again on YouTube. You subscribe to us. You can hear us on the podcast on, of course, Spotify, iHeartRadio. But this is where the spoilers come in. So I don't want anybody just thinking we're not going to talk about. We're talking about it. We're going to talk about our theories, how we feel about everything, and we're just going to delve into it right now.
Yes. So, sorry. Well, that's first of all. Let's start it off. Of course, this show stars Wanda and Vision, and we get introduced with this.
WandaVision.
Yeah, right. And we get
two Avengers.
Right. And we get introduced with 2 episodes. Disney dropped the first 2 episodes. The first episode was like an episode of I Love Lucy. And the second one reminded me of Bewitched. And basically it's they're 1950s, 1960s sitcoms, which was kind of weird and black and white.
Yep.
But as we're watching, we're getting Easter eggs. We're getting clues to so much stuff. First episode, we see man, they all run together now. What did we see in the first episode?
When Vision's at work, right? He goes to a job. Vision has a job.
Yeah.
Vision has a job.
And it got way more productive since he got there, by the way.
Yeah, 300%.
Yeah.
300% since Vision started. It's like he's a computer. No, I'm not. The humor, everything. So he goes to work. His boss, it actually centers around a heart on a calendar.
Yeah. And they're trying to remember, all right, what's this date for?
Yep. Yeah. So eventually his boss is invited over to dinner. So that's why I guess his boss's name had to do for Hart. I forgot.
Yeah, it's Mr. Hart. Yeah.
Yeah. So he comes over for dinner. Wanda with her Sokovian greeting. It was their anniversary, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's just a whole funny scene of food and cooking, and everything seems, as they would call it back in the day, everything was a romp. Up until the boss starts choking. Then it gets weird. So we're sitting there after she makes the food, after messing it up a couple times. Don't know where the lobsters went to until later. And the boss was asking them questions. Where'd you come from? What are you doing? Why are you here? And they couldn't sit there, and they're just looking at each other like, why are we here? And they couldn't answer the question. And then the boss starts choking. And the wife's like, oh, stop, honey. Starts laughing. He's on the floor. Vision's looking at Wanda. Wanda's looking at Vision. The lady turns to Wanda and is like, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And I had to watch this twice. Like all of these I had to watch twice. I'm like, what is going on? Until she looked at Vision and Vision helped him. And Vision went and phased through and took out, which that's helpful, and took out the thing from his throat. And the guy stood up and was like, oh, well, that was great. We'll talk about your raise, and then rolls out.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened. Yeah. And that was the first after this little comedy happened. That little thing showed me how serious this is going to get. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be this is not just all going to be fun and games and laughter. There's something else going on here.
Yeah.
And that first episode's like, okay, we got something.
Right. We even get a toaster commercial. Heard?
Yes. Tony Stark's toaster, not Tony, sorry. His dad's toaster, Stark Industries toaster commercial, which was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah. So so the first time I watched, because I've watched it twice too. Because by the way, and so during these episodes, they drop in little subtle hints that like things are just not quite right.
Yeah.
We get a toaster commercial, Tony Stark Industries toaster. Second time I watched it, I was like, oh smack. That's not a freaking toaster. That's a freaking face. There's a if you look at it again, there's a red thing that's beeping.
Yeah.
There's a red light that's beeping. And I'm watching it, and there's like some wheels on the toes. I'm like, oh shoot, wait a minute, this is a face. I was like, wait a minute, that's like Vision's face. What the heck is going on? So it's like all these different clues they're putting out. I love the first one. I really like the second episode because we get to see a little bit more clues. Yeah. We get to see a helicopter that's in color, that's popped in. They keep hearing noises, waking them up in the middle of the night.
What colors are they in?
The red and yellow.
And they're in Iron Man colors. The helicopter. Nice. And it has a symbol on it. Yes.
Had the sword, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the sword logo on her. Yeah. So it's cool. It's a good mix of sitcoms, clues, Easter eggs throughout. The thing I like in the second episode is at the end of that, it switches the color and we find out Wanda's pregnant.
Well, before then, let's rewind a little bit. Like Wanda did in this one, where she's there talking to the blondie, I forgot her name, the one who runs everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she's talking to her, and she cuts her hand. And the radio is talking to Wanda. So I was like, what is going on? Like,
by the way, do you know what song was playing on the radio, by the way?
I don't remember. What was it?
Instead of Help Me, Rhonda, it was Help Me, Wanda.
Yes. Help me, Wanda. Help me, Wanda. And the guy was talking during the time too, which I was like, where's that voice coming from? Right. And she kind of looked at it and she blinked. The girl wasn't cut anymore because she cut her hand. And she was talking to her and everything went back to normal.
Yeah.
And the second episode to me was hilarious because Vision was acting weird. So he was hanging out with the guys, having to swallow a piece of gum. Just the animation and and him acting drunk, so to speak, was hilarious. And then he's doing all these little things, like he starts flying. She's got to pull up the little drawstring thing for him to he picked up the piano.
Yeah, that was.
And she went over there and she had to oh look, it's cardboard. Oops, he's saving everything because he's giving it away. Like we're these super people here,
Yeah.
And
why were they having that talent show, Hurt?
For the kids.
For the children.
How many kids have we seen?
Monotone like that?
How many kids have we seen there?
We've seen 2. None
up to that point. We saw 0.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, none. There have been no kids there. They talk about them. So the 2 things we haven't seen: any other kids and Frank.
Who?
Frank, the husband that we haven't seen. The neighbor's husband.
Whose husband? Which neighbor?
The lady. I forgot her. I know her name.
Catherine Hahn. You talking about her? Agnes.
Agnes.
Yeah.
Agnes's husband, Frank, who we haven't seen. And little droppers, and also we see Genevieve. What's her name?
Geraldine.
Geraldine for the first time.
Yes.
And she's the only person that's there that seems a little bit off. Like, hi, I didn't meet you. What's your name? And she kind of struggles. I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't think anything about it.
Yeah.
You know,
and they gave us a clue in the episode because when she first introduces herself to Wanda, she says, "I don't think I belong here," or something like that. He says.
No. Well, Wanda's like, this seems so outrageous. She's like, yeah, I don't feel like I belong here either.
Yeah.
Like, hi, I'm Wanda. I'm Geraldine. You know, like,
yeah.
And they became friendly after that. But like you said, we go from there from the talent show. At the end of the episode, things start getting back into color, and Wanda is showing.
Yeah.
And then we go to It's Now in Color episode.
We're in the 70s, Herc.
They're in the 70s, and Wanda is full-blown pregnant.
Yeah.
And she gets more pregnant by the hour. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The doctor comes over, says everything's healthy, whatever. He wants to go on vacation. He's like, yeah, I'm going out of town soon. By the time I get back, you guys will still be expecting. Nope, she keeps getting bigger. Vision's like, by this time, she had the baby in like 8 hours. Like 2 full-blown babies. She ends up having a baby. Vision goes and gets the doctor, like flies, kind of runs really fast. Sort of like someone's brother would run. I'm just saying.
Didn't think about that.
But it was this episode. No, the episode, I forgot. The episode before was the beekeeper, too. I forgot about the beekeeper.
No, that was the first episode. The beekeeper.
That was the first. Okay, so we forgot about the beekeeper in the first episode. There's so many little things. I know we're going to miss everything. You just need to watch. But
that's what I'm saying. They're all kind of running together now.
Yeah. So and there's so many details. But this one, he goes back and gets a doctor. So she has twins, shockingly, because of course we know she is a twin. And good old Geraldine's like, your brother Pietro. She's like, what did you say? I was like, what did she say? Because I was shocked because we had no mention of
what she says he was killed by Ultron.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of set Wanda off.
And because we've been we've noticed there's been, like to say, glitches where Wanda, I don't necessarily, she feels threatened by something, and she rewinds everything back and it's normal again. So when Vision's like, something's wrong, I don't know what it is, Wanda, something's wrong, excuse me, and she rewinds it back and he's like, you know what, honey, and just change, his whole demeanor changed, the question went away, everything's fine now. So I'm like, okay, something's going on here. And, it's been getting more and more dramatic as we've gone along. So after she delivered these twins, one helped by Geraldine. Geraldine says, like you said, it's killed by Ultron. So what did you say? And when Vision goes outside, your homeboy is cutting the shrubs. All of a sudden, dude's cutting through the wall. What do you do? I was like, what is going on? My brain at that point was going everywhere.
Yeah. And remember, he's telling him we're all something because he's talking to Catherine Agnes.
Yeah.
It's like, we're all. It's like, what? We're all what?
Well, before then, Agnes was like, yeah, well, is Geraldine in the house of her? It's like, yes. Like, she's not from here. Like, she doesn't have a home. It's like, what do you mean? She has no family. Like, what do you mean? At this point, luckily, he stopped cutting the wall. Because he was cutting the shrubs to the wall. So he stopped cutting, and him and Agnes were talking. And it's like, she has no family. And then he was like, well, we're all what? And she's like, anyway, I gotta go. Frank is waiting for me or something, whatever. And he's like, yeah, all right, buddy, I'll see you later. And he comes across the doctor. He's like, you going on your trip? And the doctor says, none of us can leave here. I was like, what? And I was like, why did the doctor none of us are going to be able to leave? I'm like, wait, what is going on? And he comes back in the house, and of course he has 2 newborn twins. And he's asked, where's Geraldine? It's like, oh, she left. She had to go. And we see that episode, her flying through something out of the sky, landing, and a whole bunch of copters and people with guns drawn on her. And I'm like, what in the holy heck just happened? And then we finally got the episode from this weekend where they go through basically Geraldine's story.
Yeah, and this is the first episode that actually felt like actually felt like Marvel. You know what I mean? This was the first episode that took place outside in the real world, outside of Wanda and Vision's world that they're in. So it was kind of cool, and we get some answers. You know, we find out that Geraldine was really Monica Rambeau, who is the daughter of Maria Rambeau, who was the best friend to Captain Marvel. Right. So that's her daughter.
Think about it. In this episode, we got Captain Marvel people. We got Ant-Man and Wasp people.
Yes.
We got Thor people. I mean, it's everything was so how they tied it, how they came back from the blip.
Yeah.
She materialized in where her mom was in the hospital.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dan. The beginning was awesome because as I'm watching, I thought it was a glitch. I thought we was kind of like in Wanda's world, kind of for a second. I thought people were glitching, and then when you realize, I was like, my mouth was like, I was literally like, oh, this is awesome.
This is awesome.
This is what's good. She blipped. She read me.
It came out. I was like, "Where's my mom?" She was in the room.
Yeah.
Like, you've been gone for 3 years.
Like, what?
I said, your mom's gone. Like, I was like, yo, what? Like, what? And then her mom started Sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm saying Sword because Dan's on here, so he likes saying Sword. I was like, you gotta pronounce the W. Everybody was shocked to see everybody because people were materializing in the hallway.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. Running into each other, and of course, the doctor looked shocked because she was like, "What are you doing here? You were gone." But she had to explain to her what happened and where her mom was, and she found out that her mom actually passed away during the 3 years that she was blipped.
Yeah.
So that was wow. I can't because in a way you don't even really think about where people were. How some of them came back. I mean, and I guess you materialized where you were last at. So I'm just glad I didn't, I'll be like, I'm glad I wasn't flying at the time because I just come up in midair. Like, what happens? So it's, it was crazy. That was crazy. Crazy. But I like the beginning, her going back to work, her meeting the FBI guy, them explain now, I see where the drones came from. Right. I saw where the beekeeper came from. Right. So everything was like, wow, everything was just adding up. And it was going to where I thought it was going to, where this is all controlled by one person. And not from the people from Eastview. It's the people who are like, this town doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is controlled by one Wanda Maximoff. Wanda Maximoff is the person behind this whole thing.
I like this. I like what Dan just said. This episode answered a lot of questions, left many more unanswered. That sounds like another TV show that
Listen, let's not get lost here, okay? Keep track of what we're talking about.
But it's the truth though. And that's what I love about it. We got some answers, but we still have way more questions. Like, so my question is, why is Wanda doing this? Is this truly a world that she created, or is it also because of the phenomenon with the blip as well? Like, was that part of the reason? Another question I have is, who are the people, right? The people who are in this world, because we know Monica Rambeau, she infiltrated that world. But who are these other people? Who do you think these other people are, Herb?
I believe all these people are manifestations of Wanda's mind. And as we saw zombie vision.
No, they're not manifestations. They're real people. They're real people. Remember when we go back to was it Agent Wu? They were putting up people on the board. They had driver's licenses of these people, and they put them on the board.
Yeah.
These are real people. The only one they didn't show was Agnes.
Oh yeah. They had everybody else. Yeah, that's right. They were getting everybody. Yeah, you're right. But they can't leave. Like the doctor said, we're always going to be here. So, yeah. But she's put these people here, is what I mean.
Yeah,
These people are stuck here, but they're being controlled and manipulated by her.
right.
The situation.
But why them? Who are these people?
You said, but why these people?
Yeah, in other words, there's got to be a reason why these particular set of people are able to. I think that these people have something in common.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not sure. I know, again, the only thing I know for certain is that Wanda's controlling everything in there.
Yeah, we know that.
Like, even when the beekeeper came in, he wasn't even a beekeeper. It was a man in a suit with a sword suit going into a tunnel. And he came through, and even his cord turned into a jump rope.
Yeah,
Everything transitioned once you go into her world, into what her world is and what she wants it to be. But there's certain instances where she starts losing control of the real world. It starts coming in, like when the radio happened,
right.
when Vision was questioning things. Again, with Geraldine, she goes to where I need to rewind all this and control it again. Or when she saw the beekeeper and said no, and everything started over. She wants everything to be how she wants it to be, including the Vision. Because as we saw, Vision's gone because he did not come back. He's not alive. He was killed by Thanos.
Yes. And I think Dan's right. I think she's grieving over his death. She created this world to
Cope.
to cope and to kind of to help cope to deal with her grief. But I think it's a little bit more than that too. I think it's a little bit. I totally agree, but I think there's more to this puzzle than they're giving us yet. I think these people. I'm wondering honestly if the people who are there also died in the blip, and maybe that's why they're almost like zombie. Since Dan put up like zombie vision, like I think there's zombie vision. I think all these people may have died in the blip, but I may be wrong because they did. I figure maybe if they died, maybe they would have said that when they were posting these people up on the wall. So maybe they're not all dead. I don't know, but
I don't even know how long this world has, or this little Wanda world has been going on for. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that she was gone. Monica was gone for 3 years, and then like 2 weeks later, she started going back in to work, and then they assigned her out to this, and she got sucked into Wanda World, right?
Yeah, but Monica hasn't been back for that long, though. I mean, So
no, she was gone for 3 years because this was like basically right after. So has this been going on for 3 years? You get what I'm saying? Like she was gone for 3 years. She came back. She went back to work like 2 weeks later.
No, because no. So hold on. What did Dan say? She has nothing. This is her. Who's she? Wait up. She has nothing.
Wanda.
And this is her way of having people close to her. She did say Thanos took everything from me. Okay. To create some sort of relationship with people. Okay.
Yeah, it's a town for her.
Yeah.
It's the way she wants to live her life that she can't. I mean, we know that.
Yeah. But no, to answer your question, this phenomenon that's going on with Wanda just happened because when Monica comes back, he says, "Yeah, we just have this missing persons report." Like,
yeah. So it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I would say it's like 2 weeks. I think these people just disappeared, and I'm thinking this happened. I think this happened to do with people returning. I think this has to do with the blip. That's what I'm saying. I think, and I could be wrong. I mean, we don't know what's going on, but I think this is a combination of Wanda wanting to create this world and then the blip happening, reappearing. And I think that's when all this happens, when the blip. I think this has to do something with the blip. And I think that's why they showed us this. I think the blip kind of caused this phenomenon or enabled Wanda to be able to create this world. And my working theory so far is that the people in there, except for Agnes, is dead. All of them are being reanimated. All of them are zombies, for lack of a better word. Even Vision, and all these other people.
Oh yeah, well we know Vision actually died. we know that.
Right. But I think what I'm saying is I think everybody else is dead too, like Vision, except for Agnes. I don't know. I still don't know. I can't figure out who Agnes is or her, like you said, her husband. But I mean, I could be. I mean, who knows? Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm glad somebody thinks that way. But no, I mean we're all working on different things here.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's but that's why the show is what it is. It's like
I love it,
and it's exciting. Look, we've gone to an hour 30. We haven't even done that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So yeah, so but in ending of this, again, we got more episodes to go. I think we have 5 more episodes.
5 more, yeah.
So we'll definitely see. But this is, I think a part of her is also being manipulated from some outside force. And along with her just grieving and feeling sad. Because remember, her brother was murdered. She went to the adventures. She fell in love with this android who she saw murdered, who she had to go through also nearly killing herself.
Right.
To basically killing him to see it undone for them, then for him to be murdered right in front of her. So yeah, she's been through a lot. So she's probably going through this break, and she created Westview. And the people inside, like I said, I don't know where they came from. I don't know if it was the blip or they were there and she just created the town and they just happened. And like you said, they were missing and they can't leave. Certain people can get in and some people can't. But, like I said, they couldn't get in. The drones were making it in there. That's why we saw the Tony Stark one. And they also there's also other commercials. We can't forget the Hydra commercials.
Yeah, Hydra soap.
There's so many Hydra soap. Yeah, and the Strucker watch.
Strucker watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many good things that we're getting from this. But my theory is, of course, she's gone crazy. She's controlling all of this. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Because obviously, if you don't fit in the world, you get kicked out the world.
Yeah.
Because she didn't really harm Geraldine, which is good. But she darn sure kicked her out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been interesting. But yeah, and more WandaVision to come. And of course, next week or this week coming up, we got our Super Bowl breakdown. The GOAT versus the mini GOAT. Or Yoda versus Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call it. is what we're going to break down this week. But thank you everybody for tuning in. NYMD Podcast. We're here on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Give us a like for this episode because it was great. We talked about Matthew Stafford and we talked about Wanda. I mean, come on now. And we got in jokes about Michael Jordan and Mike Trout. So we can't beat that. Of course, download us on any of your podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker apps, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you find radio, you find radio. Anywhere you find your podcast, you'll find the NYMD Podcast. And like us on Facebook, on IG, and follow us on the Twitter. Everybody stay safe. Hope it's not going to snow where you are like it is now. But everybody stay safe. Wear your masks. And we'll see you next week.
Peace out, y'all. Stay safe.
WandaVision.